going at 11 miles an hour. So we're going 10 miles an hour. And the fail shot is right here. Right here.
Voilà.
So that's where it was, from the fence right there. Look how close that is.
Allô les amis, je suis présentement à Dallas, Texas. Il fait extrêmement chaud, fait que vous excuserez mes joues rouges. Et je vais vous présenter aujourd'hui une personne qui m'a été introduite par Paul Blot. Paul Blot, qui est une personne que j'ai reçue à mon podcast, un expert dans la question de John F. Kennedy. C'est grâce à lui que j'ai pu rencontrer Oliver Stone. Et Paul, il connaît plein de gens parce que dans la communauté des gens qui font de la recherche sur la question de l'assassinat de John F. Kennedy, ils finissent par tous se connaître et s'entraider. Et donc, Matt Douthit, avec qui je suis présentement, est un de ces passionnés, un expert. Il est un tour guide, un guide touristique ici, dans sa ville natale. Il vient de Dallas, donc il est tombé en amour avec cette histoire qui nous impacte tous, soit l'assassinat de John F. Kennedy. N'hésitez pas aussi à faire un pouce par en haut, ça va aider dans l'algorithme. Alors, je vous présente tout de suite, je vais essayer de voir si je suis capable de retourner ma caméra. Hi, Matt!
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, yourself?
Good. We're live here from Dallas. This is Dealey Plaza. That you might recognize it from Oliver Stone's JFK. This is where he filmed his famous movie back in 1991. This is where the plaza where the 35th president of the United States, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, was assassinated almost 62 years ago.
November. 22nd November.
22nd of November. President Kennedy came here for a couple of reasons. He came here mainly to ease tensions between the Southern Democrats and the conservative Democrats. He also came here because next year was the 1964 election, and early that morning on November 22nd, they had spent the morning in Fort Worth, Texas, which is several miles northwest of Dallas, and they hopped on Air Force One and took a very short plane ride.
Yeah, it's like the suburbs, basically.
No one flies from Fort Worth to Dallas, Texas.
Why did they do that?
They did just so they could land at the airport, and the massive crowd of people. The plane landed at Love Field Airport. Air Force One did. It touched down. The doors opened, and President Kennedy said, "Wow, look at the crowd." It was because just a few weeks earlier, Adlai Stevenson, who a lot of you might know, had been spit on and heckled and assaulted by a group in Dallas, Texas, like I said, just a few weeks earlier. And so there was
there was a lot of tension.
There was a lot of tension, and a lot of people had warned Kennedy not to come to Texas.
True but that. And he was not welcome because of that, right? Because he was Democrat, and he was not.
Yeah. But to his surprise, tons of people turned out. He opened the door to Air Force One, and he said, "Wow, look at the crowd!" And there was tons of people
cheering,
and he went down and started shaking hands with them. And on the tarmac, and unheard of today.
Let me translate that. Let me try. Can I do that? Wait. OK, pour traduire, pour ceux qui ne comprennent moins bien l'anglais, ce qui explique, c'est le 22 novembre 1963, au matin, John F. Kennedy est arrivé à l'aéroport et en avion de Fort Worth à Dallas, qui est comme la banlieue, en fait, c'est un peu l'équivalent de Laval à Montréal. Il est arrivé en avion pour pouvoir atterrir sur le tarmac. Et à ce moment-là, il y avait une immense foule, alors qu'il s'était fait prévenir de ne pas venir parce qu'on se disait que, en fait, il y avait beaucoup de tension. Il y avait quelqu'un qui avait été agressé quelques semaines plus tôt. Il y avait énormément de tension dans l'air. Il n'était pas le bienvenu. C'est un démocrate, alors qu'on est dans un État républicain. Puis à ce moment-là, il n'était pas le plus populaire auprès des républicains à cause de toute la question. Bon, Matt n'en a pas parlé, on pourra en parler, mais le fiasco de la vitre des cochons. Et donc, pourtant, il y avait plein de gens qui étaient là pour l'accueillir, grand sourire, et il s'est mis tout de suite à serrer des mains à des gens.
Yeah. Right. And by the way, Adlai Stevenson was the ambassador to the United Nations. I forgot. to say that. But yeah, so there was a lot of attention to him coming. In fact, early that morning, this was the last newspaper that JFK opened, and he thought it was them greeting him because on the top it's cut off right here, but it says "Welcome to Dallas." Welcome to Dallas, and then you go down and it says "Wanted for treason," and it looks like, you know, an old Western wanted poster that you'd see in the Wild West.
Yes.
And JFK had turned to his wife Jacqueline Kennedy and said, "We're going into nut country today." But as I said, that plane door opened and he was surprised. Tons of people just cheering. He went down onto the tarmac. It
could have been a nice day.
It could have been. It was a nice day.
It
started to be a nice day.
Yeah.
And he started shaking hands with people on the tarmac, cheering. His wife went with him to shake hands. This was her first public appearance. She had, unfortunately, a few months earlier, she had a miscarriage.
Yes.
They lost their son, baby Patrick. He only lived for about 26 hours. And so that tragedy had really rekindled, brought them together again, stronger than ever. And she said, "Where Jack goes, I go."
And it was sort of a comeback for Jackie Kennedy at that moment.
Exactly. It was a comeback for her. And they hopped into a long Lincoln Continental 1961 limousine.
I saw that limousine. It is at the museum in Detroit.
Yes.
In Dearborn, Michigan.
And for those that haven't seen it, this is it today.
Yeah.
This is it today. Now it has been
very clean.
It's very clean. It's very polished. Other presidents have used it, but it is a beautiful car.
It is.
It is.
Let me just translate what you just said.
Okay.
OK, donc pour résumer, en gros, il est arrivé avec la Lincoln. On parle de cette Lincoln qui est à Dearborn, Michigan, dans un musée, le musée Ford, que j'ai eu la chance de voir aussi, mais je vous dis qu'elle a été très, très, très bien nettoyée. Hein? On ne voit plus aucune trace de ce qui aurait pu être le sang, parce qu'il avait été vraiment assassiné dans cette limousine-là. Dans le film Zapruder, que vous pouvez voir facilement, il dure 30 secondes, vous pouvez le trouver sur YouTube. Si vous voulez aller le voir, Zapruder film, Z-A-P-R-U-D-E-R. Et donc, ce qui explique, c'est que ça aurait pu être une belle journée, ça a bien commencé. Jackie Kennedy, sa femme, avait eu une fausse couche quelques mois plus tôt. Son fils avait vécu quelques jours seulement, mais là, elle faisait son retour. Elle accompagnait le président dans toutes ses sorties publiques. Okay, that's your turn now.
Anyway, JFK and Jackie were in the back. In front of them, in jump seats, sort of lower down, were Texas Governor John Connally and his wife Nellie. And in front of them was two Secret Service agents, the driver, Greer, and Kellerman. Now, when they started cruising on this long motorcade
this way, right?
through Dallas, we'll get there.
Okay,
This is probably the most famous photo seen around the world of them in the middle of downtown Dallas. You see the limousine right here, President Kennedy, his wife Jackie, the Connollys, and the two Secret Service agents. And behind them is a follow-up car chock full of Secret Service agents. You'll famously note probably the most famous Secret Service agent of all time, Clint Hill. He'll play a pivotal part on Elm Street, as we'll see.
And it's interesting to say that the car at the Lincoln didn't have a rooftop.
It did not. Yes.
Why? I think it was not supposed to be like that at first, right?
There were many times where the security was a lot tighter. They had a bubble top on. It was not bulletproof. It looked bulletproof, but it was just plexiglass.
Okay.
And to give the impression that it was bulletproof, but it wasn't.
Okay, gotcha.
There are many different stories. Officially, Kennedy said, "I don't want that. I don't want it on. I want the people to see me." That turned out to not be true. A good researcher by the name of Vince Palomera, who is the leading Secret Service expert in the world, he interviewed many of the Secret Service agents on this trip, and he brought up the official claim. Was it true that Kennedy wanted the bubble top down? And they were like, "Where did you get that from? He never said that."
Really?
So we don't. So that's a little mystery. That's a little mystery.
So that would be maybe a lie that they sort of made up. So we believe that the president called for that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's not really true.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
There was, yeah.
Debatable.
There was supposed to be a Secret Service agent on the car, and as they were leaving the airport left field, he started running alongside the car as he always does, and one Secret Service agent, and you can see this in the film, he called him off the car, and you can see him go, because that's his job to protect the president. He's like,
what is going on here?
He does this 3 times, like,
really?
and the car drives up. He's like, okay, I guess I'm going to lunch then, you know.
Wow.
If you don't want me there. So
does he have a testimony that he gave afterwards of what really happened? Or?
Well, that's the thing. Officially, he said, well, I'm going to lunch.
Okay.
Have a good trip, but we have film footage. He didn't know that we have film footage, and he's going like this. You can see his superior go like this, and then he throws his arms up 3 times.
Right.
And then he says, I guess I'm going to lunch then. So,
yeah, which doesn't mean exactly the same thing. Right?
Yeah, exactly. So, there's a long parade route, and the limousine was on Main Street. This is Main Street coming this way. It ends right here.
At Dealey Plaza.
Yeah, right here.
So this is the plaza right there.
Say it again?
This is the plaza.
This building right here, if you'll pan, this red, ginormous building, this is the old Dallas County Courthouse. And to the left of it right here, this building with the red brick and the bars on the windows. You can see the old bars on the windows. This is the old criminal courts building. And to the left of this, the cream-colored building. This is the old Dallas County Records building. And to the left of that, this is 501 Elm Place. Back in 1963, this orange brick building was the Daltex building. And to the left of that, as we get onto Elm Street, we have, of course, the old original Texas School Book Depository.
The infamous.
The infamous, yeah.
Alors, I'm going to say just in French.
Sure.
Les bâtiments qu'on vient de vous montrer étaient là il y a 62 ans. Il n'y a pratiquement rien qui a changé. Les fontaines que vous voyez ici, tout est intact. Il y a même les mêmes arbres. Ils ont gardé ce lieu-là intact maintenant pour préserver la mémoire de l'assassinat de John F. Kennedy. Donc, c'est vraiment, pour moi qui suis l'histoire de John F. Kennedy depuis si longtemps, on n'est pas encore allé à la bibliothèque là où on dit que Lee Harvey Oswald a tiré, mais c'est devant nous, on va y aller tantôt, c'est devenu un musée. Alors c'est vraiment particulier d'être ici, de reconnaître les lieux qu'on a tellement vus filmer si souvent dans un lieu où la face du monde a changé. Finalement, c'est ce qu'on parlait pendant que la caméra était à off. I'm just saying the conversation we were having before we started, how that day, how the world changed, and still to this day, we're still affected by this assassination. Do you share that point of view? Do you think that we still have an impact today of what happened 63
years ago?
Absolutely. Why is that?
Everything from Vietnam to Watergate to right now, it's all a direct result of the Kennedy assassination. President Kennedy talked about real peace, not faux, F-A-U-X, faux peace that politicians today and back then talked about. He wanted to get us out of all wars, get us out of the Vietnam War. He wanted to end the Federal Reserve. He was cracking down hard on the mafia. He wanted to bring true peace to this country. He was almost this close to a peace agreement with Nikita Khrushchev, the Soviet Union. They were secretly delivering through a courier secret handwritten letters to each other for correspondence, and that wasn't found out until years later. He wanted to do things, actual real things for this country.
Yes. And for the world. And that's why he's so important worldwide.
And for the world, yes.
He was, when you talk about John F. Kennedy worldwide, everybody loved JFK.
Yeah, he was,
he was very much appreciated. And when I saw Oliver Stone in Montreal, in Quebec City, he said that day he was killed, peace was assassinated.
Yes.
Ce que Oliver Stone a dit à Québec, c'était le jour qu'on a assassiné John F. Kennedy, on a assassiné la paix. C'était une icône de paix. Il refusait de faire la guerre au Vietnam. Il refusait... Bon, en fait, après, il y a eu plein de choses qui s'en sont suivies. Le lendemain, C'est Johnson qui est devenu celui qui était son vice-président est devenu le président et il a signé, il a envoyé des troupes pour faire la guerre au Vietnam. Donc, overnight, le pays qui s'engageait pas dans la guerre a ouvert, envoyé les troupes se faire tuer au Vietnam. Donc, on a vraiment un président qui était pour la paix. Et on dirait que le jour où il a été assassiné, en fait, la cellule gouvernementale qui l'a assassiné a pris contrôle du monde. C'est ce qu'on partageait tout à l'heure. C'est comme si le monde maintenant, cette corruption-là qui était au sein du gouvernement, n'est pas disparue. I'm saying that the corruption that was within the government, I'm not saying it was assassinated by the CIA, but there were certainly members of the government. And like this dark part of the government is still active.
He was figuring out that the CIA was doing coups in other countries, which is what we still do today. And like I said, he wanted to bring peace not only for America, but to the rest of the world, from America all the way to Africa, everywhere.
Right.
And that whole vision really died the day that he was killed on this street right here. Immediately afterwards, they reversed the course, and the Vietnam War happened.
Exactly.
And everything else. And going back over here.
This we recognize. This is a Zapruder film, right?
Yeah.
This is what we see right there.
The Zapruder film was taken over there. We'll get there in a second.
Okay,
so down Elm Street, this is Elm Street right here. We have over here the white pergola over here.
Yeah.
And to the left of that, you'll see a bunch of trees and shrubs and a wooden fence, and that has become now known as all around the world as the infamous grassy knoll. Grassy knoll. It's this entire
That's the section right there.
Hilltop, that pergola right there, the stairs, the trees, the bushes, the shrubs, that whole area is the grassy knoll.
And this is where he died.
And this is where he died, and we'll
get there.
We'll get there. And down at the foot of Elm Street is the Triple Underpass.
Right.
And as they were driving toward it, Jackie Kennedy said, she said, "Oh, it might feel cool underneath the
because it's so hot in Texas."
It was 68 degrees Fahrenheit.
Okay, so it was not as hot as today. It was November.
Yeah. But still, she thought
still hot.
It would be cool. So yes, really, the limousine's final journey is documented through a photographer by the name of Phil Willis. And he was here with his family, and he took a series of slides.
You want it
right here. And in fact, Phil Willis, this is the very beginning of the motorcade, and we'll go over here to where he was standing and line up these photos. In fact, this is up until a few days ago, with the unfortunate assassination and tragic assassination of Charlie Kirk, this was, up until a few days ago, this was the most documented, filmed, and photographed assassination murder in history.
Wow.
So right here is where Mr. Willis was, right in this area here is where Mr. Willis was standing.
When he took that photograph. Alors, le photographe qui a documenté la scène, se situait ici où on est présentement.
So,
when the limousine came.
Yeah. So the limousine is right here. It's entering Dealey Plaza right here. It's right there. Right where about where that car is, but more in the center. And
and it's said often that it was a dangerous
turn
because
that's over
one
here.
Turn there and one turn, but the fact that there are two turns.
That's up here. So as we go down, as we snake down here, the crowd is going wild. Everyone's saying, "Welcome to Dallas, Mr. President. Jackie, you're the best president ever." My aunt and uncle saw the motorcade that day. They were not
really.
My aunt and uncle saw the motorcade, not here, but way down there. They were young kids.
Good for them. They were young kids at that moment.
Young kids at the time. So.
Son oncle et sa tante ont assisté à la parade cette journée-là, mais plus haut sur la parade.
So again, through Mr. Willis' slides, through Phil Willis' slides, we can really track the motorcade through Dealey Plaza.
We're going this way.
And in fact, Ironically, and pretty incredibly, Phil Willis was the only person present at both Pearl Harbor and the Kennedy assassination.
What? He was at Pearl Harbor?
He was at Pearl Harbor, and he was at the Kennedy assassination.
Wow, that's such a weird coincidence.
Yes. So he's shadowing the motorcade, and we'll wait until this trolley goes.
Okay. Can we go just in the shade? Aren't you
Oh,
burning?
yeah.
I'm dying.
Yeah. I'm used to it.
Yeah, you good. I'm not.
It's okay.
Il fait 33 ici, gros soleil, on meurt.
So once this trolley moves, I'll show you where Phil Willis's third photograph is.
So he was moving as
He was shadowing the motorcade. He was running alongside, taking pictures, documenting it, and he was here with his wife and his 2 daughters.
Okay.
His wife Marilyn and his daughters Linda and Rosemary.
Wow. Have you ever met the daughters?
My friends have.
Really?
They still live around here. You'll probably recognize the little girl from Oliver Stone's movie. She was in
she's
Red.
in the movie?
No.
Yeah. Oh, I know what you want. Yeah.
Someone playing her, running alongside the car.
Yes.
That was Phil Willis's daughter.
Wow.
So I think you can kind of see it right here, but this trolley will move in a second. But this is Phil Willis's second photograph right here.
Ta voiture, Élie?
You can align this building
Wow,
right here, and the car has now turned from Main Street onto Houston Street right here.
So we're like 2 minutes before his death at that moment.
Here, right here?
Yeah.
Right here, we're about 30 seconds. 20 seconds, yes.
On est à ce moment-là, quand cette photo-là est prise, on est à environ 30 secondes de l'assassinat de John F. Kennedy.
You might be able to get a better shot right there. So this is where Willis's third photograph is. And then the next photograph is right here.
Yay, beautiful.
Okay, let's get back right here. And we can pretty much line up where history is right here. There's the motorcade going down Houston Street. There's the Dowtex building right there. Yeah. There's the records building right there.
And there were just 2 cars, 2 limousines, that's it?
One presidential limousine,
and the one behind.
a follow-up car, and a trail of other cars.
Of other cars, okay.
Of other cars. Lyndon Johnson's car. There was also a press car.
Okay.
Okay. So.
On s'en va, on se rapproche du lieu du crime. C'est quand même spécial.
So.
La bibliothèque devant nous.
The governor's wife, Nellie, around this point, she leaned back and she said, "You can't say Dallas doesn't love you, Mr. President." At that moment, they began to turn the corner right here.
Wow.
Onto Elm Street.
Wait, let me just translate that because
Sure.
who said you can say that Dallas doesn't love you?
Yes.
Who said that?
The governor's wife, in front of him.
Ok, la femme du gouverneur a dit au président Kennedy, vous pouvez pas dire que Dallas ne vous aime pas parce que l'accueil était tellement chaleureux. Il a dit ça à peu près 15 secondes avant qu'il se fasse assassiner.
So Mr. Willis is about here, and he takes his next picture right here as the car is turning onto Elm Street right here. This is Willis slide number 4 or 5, right? Yeah. And also standing right next to him right here, right where these green scooters are, was the Towner family. Jim Towner, also with his camera, he snapped this picture right here. This is kind of a better picture. This is a better picture of the car turning onto Elm Street right here. And by the way, this was a very sharp, the limousine was quite long, as I said. This was a very sharp turn. It slowed considerably down, which was a safety hazard, protection hazard for the president. And it almost came to a stop as it turned and went past the depository onto Elm Street.
That's important. I will translate
and
that.
Okay.
It's been said often, mais le problème avec le virage ici, il est tellement plus qu'à 90 degrés, c'est tellement un angle intense que la limousine a dû pratiquement s'arrêter. Donc, c'était vraiment dangereux. N'importe qui travaille pour les services secrets aurait dû savoir que c'était pas sécuritaire de mettre ça dans l'itinéraire, que la limousine doit s'arrêter parce que ça le rendait vraiment vulnérable à une attaque.
Yeah. And by the way, in Jim Towner's photograph, this is the last happy moments of Camelot,
Wow.
as they call it, of President Kennedy and his wife Jackie. In fact, she's looking right at Jim Towner's camera.
Yes.
So, but little could she imagine in about 6 seconds what would happen.
That's far. I mean, fast between here and there at 6 seconds.
Here and there, 6 seconds until the time of the first shot about.
First shot. À
Six.
peu près 6 secondes entre ici et le moment où la première balle est arrivée.
All right. So,
Let's roll.
as we move down here,
Ça va, Élie? Ma caméraman?
Now.
Merci.
on the 6th floor window,
Au 6e étage.
second from the top,
Second from the one that seems to be like open? Or
with the box.
white?
You see the box right there?
Oh, okay.
Second
The
window.
box.
Second window from the top.
Yeah.
We're filming a video right now. Sorry. We're filming a video
Ce que
right
t'es en train
now.
de dire, c'est que tu vois-tu la boîte? C'est là que le tireur Harvey Lee Oswald aurait été installé.
Second window from the top right there. This is where the alleged assassin Lee Harvey Oswald was according to the official story,
Yes, I like
was
how you emphasize that.
was waiting with, allegedly waiting with his rifle, and as it was strongly emphasized and stressed in the Oliver Stone movie, had Oswald been the only assassin, he would have shot the president as he was coming
Right in front of him.
right in front of him, or as the car was
Stopped in front of him.
almost stopped as it was making this turn right here.
That makes so much sense. So much more sense once
Yes.
you're here to understand how ridiculous the official theory is.
Yeah.
Ce
So
qu'il vient
it's like
d'expliquer, c'est que si Harvey Lee Oswald avait été là, ça a été beaucoup plus logique qu'il tire devant lui, le président, surtout dans son virage ici, au moment où il était arrêté, plutôt qu'attendre qu'il soit rendu là-bas pour le descendre, si c'est là que le lieu du crime a eu lieu. Puis quand on voit le film Zapruder, on voit aussi que la tête part par en arrière. We also see that the head leaves in.
He could have shot him right in the middle of his eyes, right here,
Yeah,
if he was a
bullseye.
lone assassin.
Yes.
But that didn't happen. And right here, you see this all these fountains and this pool right here. Sitting right here was a construction worker by the name of Howard Brennan. And he was sitting up here, and a couple minutes before the assassination, he had looked up and he saw someone milling about in that window that we just pointed out, and he didn't think very much anything about it. And then as the president's car turned onto Elm Street and the shots began to ring out, he looked up and he saw someone with a rifle up there.
He did see someone with a rifle.
He did see someone with a rifle. There were other people who saw either a gun or a man. About 10 witnesses who saw something up there.
So how do we explain that? There was a man there
Yes.
with a rifle.
Everyone is pretty much in agreement. About 99% of researchers are in agreement that there was a shooter up there. Now,
Not necessarily the one that killed Kennedy, though, right? That wouldn't be that shot. Is that what you're saying?
we'll get there once we
Okay,
get down here.
perfect.
So Mr. Brennan is sitting up here, and according to the official story, he was able to identify Oswald just from right here looking up, and he said he was able to tell his height.
He was able to identify Oswald?
Well, supposedly.
Okay.
That's the official story. He said that they said that he could identify him, his height, his weight,
the rifle?
his age and everything, but I think it's pretty clear if you just look up at that window that it's pretty much impossible to make a positive identification
Yeah.
of anyone in that window.
Especially of the height.
And he also said that the man was standing, but you can't.
How do you know?
The shooter was not, in fact, standing. And in fact, he said at the time of the shots he was looking right up. If we look at the Zapruder film, we see over there, looking this way, we see Howard Brennan sitting right here. And where is he looking? Is he looking up there? No, he's looking at the president. He's not looking.
That would make more sense to be looking at the president when you have the president in front of you. Let me just go in the shade and translate what you just said.
Okay.
Dans ce qu'il était en train d'expliquer, what's the name of that person?
Howard Brennan.
Howard Brennan, qui travaille en construction, était à côté là. Et dans l'histoire officielle, a dit qu'il avait identifié un homme, mais c'est quand même assez loin, comme vous pouvez voir, à la fenêtre, et qui a été capable d'identifier que c'était Harvey Lee Oswald. Il a été capable d'identifier sa grandeur, son poids, qu'il avait la rifle, le fusil finalement. Donc ça, c'est l'histoire officielle, mais il dit, Matt est en train de nous dire qu'il y a des photos où on le voit, puis il est en train de regarder le président. Il n'est pas du tout en train de regarder en haut. Parce qu'entre vous et moi, pourquoi il aurait été en train de regarder en haut quand tu as le président qui est en train de passer devant toi? Alors, mais l'histoire officielle semble être mensongère. Okay.
So it would be a very simple explanation if that were true. He looks up and he can identify someone, but as I said, as anyone can look up, you cannot tell someone's height, their age, or it's pretty hard to make a positive identification. And behind the scenes, the Warren Commission were very skeptical about him, but they were at least willing to go along with the story that he was able to positively identify the shooter. But as
the Warren Commission was not so
behind the scenes, they were very skeptical about him.
Okay.
And like I said, all you have to do is look at the Zapruder film. You see Howard Brennan, and he's looking at the president. He's not looking up at the window.
But what's the theory? Why would he lie? What's the motive? You don't know.
We don't know.
He seems to have been lying. It could have been paid by someone.
He could
to say
have.
That.
In the book Crossfire by Jim Mars, Jim Mars talked with Howard Brennan's boss.
Okay.
And he said, man, they just wore him down.
Who's
they? They really wore him down. He got so stressed. His hair turned white.
Wow.
And he said what they want him to. He said what they wanted him to say.
He gave the press what they wanted. He gave the official narrative.
Yeah.
Or what had been happening. Okay, so just let me translate. Ce qu'il vient d'expliquer, c'est que son boss a été interviewé à cet homme. Puis il a dit, ils ont vraiment réussi à lui faire dire ce qu'il voulait. Il était sous pression, il était très nerveux, ses cheveux sont devenus blancs. Donc, semblerait-il que la version officielle qu'il a donnée, c'est une version qu'on lui a forcé à dire. OK.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Oh my God, I see the X.
Yes. All right.
Sur la chaussée, il y a un X là où John F. Kennedy a été assassiné.
According to the official story, there were 3 shots that rang out. They say that the first one missed. They say that the second one hit both Kennedy and Connally. That's the single bullet theory or the magic bullet theory. And the third bullet hit the president in the head. We'll deconstruct that in just a moment. A lot of people, almost all the witnesses out here, probably in the whole plaza right here, there are about 275 witnesses. And about pretty much adjacent from me is the approximate area of the time of the first shot. Okay? And we know when the first shot was because we go back to Mr. Phil Willis. He was winding his camera and he was about to take another picture and the shot went off and it scared him and he clicked his camera. So he timestamps when the first shot happened.
Oh.
And I will pull up that image right here.
That is so
A lot of people
weird.
A lot of people nowadays will say that the first shot was underneath the tree or underneath the window in order to give Oswald more time to fight for the shooting. But really, if you look at all the witnesses and read their statements, you can figure out from their statements where the car was. Like it was adjacent from me, it was here, and they all placed the car about where this first X is right here.
Okay.
And of course, that's exactly where Phil Willis took his clicked his camera. Mm-hmm. And let me find
Donc,
that.
Phil Willis, qui est le photographe qu'on regardait les photos tantôt sur son téléphone, dans le fond, ce qu'il explique, c'est qu'il a pris, par le saut de la balle, il a pris la photo, donc ça donne
It's probably going to be very hard to see.
L'endroit exact. It's very sunny, is it? Je sais pas si vous voyez, les amis.
Can you see that?
No. Maybe we can go in the shade.
We can do B-roll. We can do B-roll here.
Yeah,
We can go here.
add them.
And so there we go. So Mr. Willis took this picture accidentally, but it timestamps the time of the first shot. And down here you'll see images, frames from the Zapruder film. Abraham Zapruder began filming about right where that
The
orange
tree is. Oh, the cone?
orange cone is there, and he filmed all the way until the car went underneath the triple underpass.
So he really filmed the murder.
Mr. Zapruder filmed the entire murder.
Wow.
And so from the time it turns onto Elm Street, so from that time until that time is a clock, and we can insert all of the photos onto Zapruder.
And
so
recreate something.
And then
that
recreate.
happened.
So at the bottom is Willis when he accidentally took his picture.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. This is Zapruder,
Yeah.
and then this is Willis, and Mr. Willis took one of the last pictures of Kennedy alive right here, as he's hit by the first shot, and then just a few moments later, this is actually the last picture. No, the second to last picture. This was taken from over there, looking this way. This was taken by a man named Charles Bronson.
Charles Bronson.
You can really see almost the entire plaza right there. You see that?
Yeah, it's a very wide shot.
You see, you can figure out who these witnesses are. Yeah. So, almost everyone thought that the first shot was either a 21 gun salute or someone had thrown a firecracker.
Right, so no one really reacted
No
on the
one
first
really
shot.
knew what it was.
Even
at
you can
first.
see in the Zapruder film that Jackie is just like
Yes.
trying to figure out what's going on.
Yes.
Is that the one that hit his throat first?
Supposedly, yes.
Yeah, supposedly.
In his back.
In his back.
Yes.
Because he was there.
He was hit in a couple places, and this is actually the last picture of President Kennedy alive. It was taken from over by that lamppost over there, looking that way. We're showing you right here because it's in the shade, so you can see it better. And you can look through the windshield, and you can see the president's arms going like this.
So he's protecting.
His hands are up in a guarding matter. Some people said he was grabbing at his throat.
Yes.
But the Zapruder film shows him doing this. It's more of a
Reaction of defense.
reaction of a defense, exactly. And Governor Connolly is also hit in his back at this point, and he says he yelled at, "My God, they're going to kill us all."
Yes.
And he was
So there were more than one shot. If he said that, they're going to kill us all.
That's the idea.
There was a they involved.
And that's some of the idea. So Mrs. Kennedy leans into her husband and saying, "What's the matter, Jack?" And
Yes.
she was probably 4 inches from being killed.
Yeah.
And then at this point, everyone knows what's happening, and the president's head just gets torn off.
Blows. And when we see that shot, it's pretty distressing to see it. But it really seems that the shot is coming from this way.
Yeah. Most of the eyewitnesses around here, I've counted 58. Others have counted, 52, something like that.
Witnesses?
Witnesses who said that a shot was fired from the front area, from what we now know as the grassy knoll in this area right here.
Oh, okay. So
But
when they talk about the fence where they were
Exactly.
hiding, that would be that fence
yes,
right there.
like I said, we have 58 witnesses who said the shots came
From this
from
direction.
this direction. But the thing is, the term grassy knoll did not exist on November 22nd. So they used terms like the hill, the concrete structure, the fence, the bushes, the trees, by the monument.
Okay, and that was not
toward-
precise enough? Or-
Towards the railroad tracks.
Okay.
But all that is describing this general area.
And that
From
would
here
make, that,
to
to
here.
me, it makes more sense because when I see what we all
Mm-hmm.
saw, the Zapruder film, it really seems like the shot is coming from this direction.
Yeah.
Je vais le dire, I'm going to say it in French. Donc, ce qu'il vient d'expliquer, c'est qu'on a 52 à 58 témoins, ça dépend des versions, où les gens qui étaient ici, dans la partie gazonnée ici, ont dit qu'ils avaient entendu un coup de feu venir de la section qu'Élie vient juste de vous montrer, là où il y a la clôture. Dans tous ces témoignages-là, finalement, on a fini par les tasser, ils n'existent pas vraiment parce qu'ils ne fitent pas avec la version officielle qu'il faut qu'il y ait un seul tireur, qu'il faut que ce soit Harvey Lee Oswald puis qui a tiré dans l'arrière, même si sur le film Zapruder, on voit vraiment la tête qui part par en arrière, comme si finalement la balle arrivait de par là-bas.
So as everyone has seen in Oliver Stone's JFK, back and to the left, remember that? We all know it now, back and to the left, but for many years, a lot of people didn't know that because the infamous Zapruder film, which we'll go up to Zapruder's pedestal up there, and we'll get on top of it, and you'll be able to see his point of view. Yes, the Zapruder film was put inside of a vault by Life magazine, and it was not shown until a bootlegged copy was shown in 1975. And
so that was
12 years later. 12 years later.
And it changed everything.
And that was what reopened the case, the assassination.
For the church committee?
No, the House Select Committee on Assassinations. Yes. Yeah. There are lots of investigations that happened, but
when was the Warren Commission?
The Warren Commission was 1964. They only investigated for 10 months.
Okay, and then the Zapruder film came. So that was after the Warren Commission.
The Warren Commission used and published select frames of the Zapruder film.
So they already had access to it.
They had access to it, but they never once mentioned in their report that his head goes back into the left. Somehow they missed that. Somehow they missed that, and they published the frames where he goes back into the left, but they switched some of the frames around so that instead of going back, it looks like he goes forward.
They made it lie, basically.
They later.
How honest is that?
They later said, "Well, that was just a mistake. This one was supposed to go here." Anyway,
yeah, it becomes hard to believe.
Yes, and the strongest evidence, besides the ear witnesses who said that the shot came from there, was the people on top of the overpass right here.
There were people over there.
On top of the bridge right here, on top of the overpass, there were many workers up there, and they're elevated from everyone else, so they were able to see. A puff of smoke come out from behind the fence and the bushes and the trees over there. So they were elevated enough to see more than what the people down here saw.
Do we know, did they identify some people? Do we have a description?
So what happened is, after the limousine went underneath, they were all like, let's go, let's go, let's go. So they ran to the back of the fence, but it took them about 2.5 minutes because
it didn't run very fast.
That's a parking lot back there, and it was filled up with cars. They were determined to get behind the fence to catch this guy. They were crawling over cars, and they were tripping over each other and jumping over each other, trying to get to that spot where they had seen the puff of smoke come out. And they didn't find an assassin, but what they found were fresh footprints behind the fence. And they found fresh cigarette butts.
Okay, still smoking? Still warm?
Had been smoking. Whoever was there had been smoking. And we'll go down here.
Donc, ce qu'il dit, c'est que des gens ont vu de la fumée, se sont lancés pour essayer d'aller arrêter le gars qui avait tiré, mais il y avait plein d'autos cette journée-là, c'était un stationnement. Donc, ça leur a mis 2 minutes et demie à arriver. Quand ils sont arrivés, il n'y avait plus personne, mais il y avait des empreintes de pas fraîches, il y avait des cigarettes, des botches de cigarettes en bon québécois. Alors, mais ils n'ont pas réussi à attraper la personne, mais pour qu'il y ait eu un mouvement de gens qui se lancent pour essayer d'arrêter, c'est clairement sur le moment de cet événement-là, cette journée-là. La réalité, c'est qu'il y a des gens qui ont entendu un coup de feu, ils ont vu la fumée, puis ils ont essayé d'aller arrêter le tireur. Donc, ce serait beaucoup plus logique que c'était ça la réalité, la vraie histoire officielle.
So this X right here, it's a little faded right here, but this is where President Kennedy's limousine was when he was shot in the head.
The second, the one that really killed him. That would be the third shot? Or
the final shot.
The final
third,
shot. So this is between the first and the final, this is what you have.
Let's see if there's a car that comes down, I'll show you where supposedly all the shots were. But right here standing about right here, was an eyewitness by the name of Mary Mormon, and she had a Polaroid camera. And just like with Mr. Willis, when the shot went off, it scared her, and she accidentally took a picture. And and in the background, we see the grassy knoll in the background. We actually
we
see
don't
the
see
fence.
Anybody though.
We'll get there.
Oh, okay.
We'll get there. Maybe we do. Maybe we do.
Maybe we do.
Okay,
Can
let's
we cross?
go. Okay, let's go.
Let's
quick.
jaywalk.
Okay.
Wow! Hey, on marche exactement
Okay,
là
let's
où
go.
M. Kennedy a été assassiné.
All right.
Wow, c'est fou pareil. Do you mind if we go in the shade? I know you're
absolutely,
tougher
absolutely.
than me.
Absolutely. I was just about to say the same thing. So right here, this is the infamous grassy knoll area. It's very close to where that X is right there. And we'll go up here.
Wow.
Right
Ça
up.
va? Yes.
Right up here is where Mr. Zapruder was filming with his camera. Now, unfortunately, these branches are right here, so you can't stand up right here. But this is where Mr. Zapruder stood
He had a good
as he
spot.
filmed the entire assassination. You see that car right there? Started filming right there, all the way to the end. He
How
filmed
fast was going the car?
the car was going 11 miles an hour.
11 miles an hour. So like 15-20 km/h.
11 miles an hour. So after the shots, it was pandemonium. One woman was shouting, they're shooting the president from the bushes. A lot of people ran up here. We'll go over here
Il y a
behind
une
the
femme
fence.
qui disait quelqu'un est en train de tuer le président à des bosquets. Donc c'est la réaction du public cette journée-là, c'est-à-dire que ça venait de par là.
So, this is where most researchers believe, and where the photographic evidence, which I'll show you in Miss Mormon's photograph right here, says
Fou d'être ici.
that there was another gunman. As we said, the railroad workers were on the bridge. They ran over here, climbing on top of the cars. They got right here. They got right here, and this is where they. It's concrete now, but this is where they found the fresh footprints.
So there was
cigarette butts. Yes, this is where someone had been, and this is where they saw a puff of smoke come out from the bushes right here.
That's such a perfect angle.
Yeah. Why don't
to
you get
shoot
from there? Yeah.
the president. C'est comme l'angle parfait. C'est ici qu'ils ont trouvé les empreintes. À cette époque-là, c'était pas de l'asphalte. C'est ici qu'ils ont trouvé les traces de cigarettes de quelqu'un qui se serait tenu. Puis c'est vraiment l'angle parfait pour tirer. Où on voit le X d'ici.
So the gunman was very well hidden here. A lot of people
But
say
they
fled.
They fled. Yeah, very
Yes,
rapidly.
exactly. There was there still is the old train switchboard tower right here.
Yeah.
In that tower right there was a man named Mr. Lee Bowers, and he said that he observed cars coming in and out of this area. Cars that
A few days before, or the day of
that
the
morning.
event? That morning.
That morning he had observed suspicious-looking cars come in and out of this area. He said one guy had a walkie-talkie, and it's
Looked
just
official.
And he said that there were two people behind the fence right here. And he said, under oath, he said there was a commotion, a flash of light, and he said that's all I'm able to say. There's a commotion. Something happened here with these two men
On the day of the assassination.
on the day of the assassination. And yes.
That's all you wanted to say.
That's all he wanted to say. But he privately told his boss and his minister and a bunch of personal friends that he did see men firing from behind the fence.
Men, plural.
Man or men, yes. He did see a gunman
At
fire.
least one.
Yes. at
Okay,
least
but we
one.
don't know if there were more than one. Do we know?
I would say just one was firing.
one.
One was probably a lookout or something like
Right,
that.
okay.
They were kind of
So
spread a little farther apart.
we know about the official story. We know that there's supposed to be only 3 gunshots because it has to fit the time frame and all that. But in your opinion, how many shots were shot at the
You know that officially 3 shots. When Congress reopened the case in the 70s, they elevated it to 4 shots.
They did? So
Yeah.
that's the official story? 4 shots?
That's the thing. We have two two separate government investigations. One of them, the Warren Commission, said it was Oswald by himself, 3 shots.
Yeah.
In the 1970s, based on acoustical analysis from an acoustic tape, dictabelt tape that was in Dealey Plaza, supposedly on a motorcycle, they picked up 4 shots using state-of-the-art technology. And so they said Oswald did it with a helper, with someone behind the fence.
Okay.
And that whoever was firing here, he probably missed. So
That's
they
BS. That
they
sounds
said
like BS a lot.
that was too much for them to say.
But we're in the 70s. I mean, a lot of stuff came out ever since.
Yes, and ever since then, in 1964, I've heard anywhere up to 9 shots, 4 or 5. I think in Oliver Stone's movie was 6 shots or something like that. Yeah. I've seen one book where it was like 9 shots, so you can take your pick. They were
we don't know.
There were supposedly some bullets that hit the street. There was also a man down by the underpass who was nicked by a fragment of chip of concrete from a bullet that had gone astray. So there's a lot of bullets.
We'll probably never know. Mais la version officielle, c'est qu'il y a 3 coups de feu. Ce qu'il est en train de dire, c'est qu'on a une autre version officielle qui a été faite en écoutant l'acoustique, en faisant comme avec la technologie qu'on a aujourd'hui, mais toujours dans les années 70. Ils ont dit que c'était 4 coups de feu, mais ils ont gardé la version officielle que c'était Lee Harvey Oswald qui avait tiré, mais avec un acolyte qui l'avait aidé, mais qui n'avait pas réussi. Mais il y aurait comme un autre coup de feu. Puis finalement, il dit, bon, on a des théories qu'il y en a eu 9, 8 dans le film de John F. Kennedy, Oliver Stone, je pense que c'est 5 ou 6. Donc finalement, on n'arrive pas à s'entendre. Mais du moment qu'on sort de la théorie du tireur unique, on rentre dans les possibilités qu'il peut y avoir vraiment beaucoup de coups de feu qui sont venus de différentes directions. Would it be also like, okay, there's this direction, but there were more than one shooter?
The 2 directions that the ear witnesses said was from this area and from the depository area.
So the window that we saw.
Yeah, the window.
So there were a men identified with a rifle, and would that be true in your opinion?
No. So what happened was, first of all, the president was taken to Parkland Hospital, and they tried their best, even though it was a mortal wound, but because it's the president, we have to at least try. So they pronounced him dead at 1 p.m. Meanwhile, back over here, what was your question?
I was wondering if there were more than one shot.
Yeah. So we can figure out where the shots were in regards to the photos, because people got, let's see, where is it? We can figure out where they were, exactly when the shots were. So this is the infamous Zapruder film. Okay. The headshot's obvious.
It's pretty obvious.
The headshot's obvious. Now, this is when Mr. Willis took his picture as a result of the first shot scaring him. There was another photographer, Bronson, from over there.
Near the fountain. Right?
Yes, he said that the moment he took his picture, a shot went off. So that's the second shot. And the third shot's obvious.
Yes, the brain
and
is exploding.
This was not really this shot was not really considered until in recent years. But if you watch the Zapruder film, here, of course, Kennedy goes back to the left.
Yes.
Right here, he's thrown forward. But the reason why no one thought anything at first is because we were looking for a second explosion.
Right.
But because his head has already exploded, it would not erupt again. It would not do it again.
So that would be another shot.
And the acoustic tape places that fourth shot
Is that
right here. So they said these are from the rear.
It's a miracle Jackie didn't get killed.
She was 4 inches from being killed. The headshot came from the fence right here, from the front, and then the last one, which hit him in the head a second time, all came from the rear. So
that's the first time I hear that theory that he was shot twice in the head. But what about the autopsy?
It was. They said when they reopened the case, they said yes, that can work. He can be shot twice in the head. They said it's a remote possibility. But they said that this can be a shot from the front, from here,
From this place,
yeah,
okay.
if and only if the second rear head shot
Is from over there.
destroyed the medical evidence and trajectory in the head of the frontal shot.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Does that make sense?
If he was, yeah, so he was shot in the head from the front.
And then the
If he
other
wa-
bullet.
if he was only shot in the head once from the front, you would see the track through the head, and it would be obvious
Yeah.
front to back. But since he was hit a
second
second time, that second bullet hitting in the back of the head destroyed
entry got destroyed.
the first track through the head.
Right.
So therefore, you would only see really evidence of a shot from the front. But
Interesting. That's the first time I heard that. Ce qui est en train, I'm going to translate. Ce que Matt est en train de dire, c'est que la tête, on voit la tête qui explose sur le film Zapruder. Mais en fait, c'est que s'il y a une deuxième balle, puis dans ce que je vous expliquais, l'acoustique qui a été faite, qui ont identifié une quatrième balle, c'est exactement sur l'arrêt de film de Zapruder. Ils sont numérotés, il nous les a montrés sur son téléphone. Quelques fractions de secondes plus tard, la tête part par en avant, donc comme s'il avait reçu une balle de là-bas. Et là, ça aurait comme retouché sa tête, mais comme la moitié de la tête était déjà explosée, on voit pas l'explosion, on voit juste comme la tête qui part par en avant, mais ça aurait été assez pour effacer finalement les traces de la première entrée de la balle. Puis là, ça brouille complètement les cartes finalement.
And we do have physical evidence in his X-rays. This is the.
But the brain disappeared. There's so many things weird about the autopsy. So.
We'll get there. Yes.
Okay.
So this.
So we believe this X-ray.
This is the president's X-ray. Now this is the same thing, but it's in a drawing. Now you can see, and this was pointed out in Oliver Stone's documentary, JFK Revisited.
Just turn it a little bit.
You see these we see a fragment trail, which is right here, going from front to back.
Yes.
And we know it's going from front to back because the little pieces are in front and the big pieces are in the back.
Which is typical of the front entry.
And this was highlighted very beautifully, in Oliver Stone's JFK Revisited, The Destiny Betrayed. So this is the evidence of the frontal headshot. Now, like I said, most of the evidence in the head was destroyed by the rear headshot, but we still have these fragments. And then the rear headshot caused all these fractures to radiate out from the back of the head. So you can tell from two different directions, a shot from the front and a shot from behind. Yes.
So that would be the official story.
That would be the truth.
That would be the truth.
That would be the truth. Yes.
That's closer to the truth.
Closer to the truth than what we have been told. Yes.
So can we go? What's next? Where do we go now?
Let's see. I forgot to show you this picture. This is.
C'est fun avec le train en arrière-plan.
So, remember we have Marianne Moorman's photo from over there, right?
Yeah.
Which shows it right here. And so, all the doctors, everyone from that day, from the hospital to everyone said that JFK had a wound, an explosive wound in the back of his head.
Yes.
If he has since entrance wounds are small and exit wounds are big, why do you have a big exit wound facing the shooter?
Yeah.
He never turned around.
It defies physics.
Yeah, so unfortunately, when we get to the autopsy photograph, this is a drawing of it. It looks completely. Where's the hole? Where's this hole that everyone saw?
So that wouldn't be his head.
Well, it is his head. The thing is that you see this hand right here?
The what?
You see this hand right here?
Yeah. Someone's holding something.
There's a flap of loose scalp that's hanging back this.
We can see it.
That's hanging back this way, and it's pulling the scalp forward, restoring the head putting the head back together.
So it's doing it on the picture. So
Yeah.
they're holding the scalp, so they're hiding.
Hiding the wound back here, yes.
Right. OK, so ce qu'il est en train d'expliquer, c'est qu'on voit clairement sur la photo, je sais pas si tu réussis à voir, mais que la main qui est là, la main qui est là, en fait, c'est une photo de Kennedy après sa mort, mais on voit qu'elle tient une partie du scalp, elle cache en fait voyons, je cherche mes mots en français. La blessure, le trou de l'arrière de sa tête. Puis comme il dit, dans le fond, généralement, quand la balle elle rentre en avant, ça fait une petite entrée, un petit trou, mais à l'arrière, ça fait un gros trou parce que c'est là que ça explose. Donc, ce serait une entrée frontale. Tous les témoins, absolument tous les témoins disent que l'arrière de sa tête a explosé. C'est le genre de choses que quand tu vois, ça te frappe. Mais eux, quand ils ont pris la photo, en fait, ils ont comme caché le trou pour pas qu'on ait cette version officielle.
Yeah, so a lot of people have said, oh, this is a fake photograph, but the more natural explanation is that they're putting the head back together. They're putting the head back together, and the medical photographer did confirm that he took a picture with the flap down, where you could see the hole in the head.
So they were already going for this version. That means they were already covering up something.
Possibly.
At this moment.
But as I said, the medical photographer took a picture of them not putting it back together, where you see this huge hole in the back of the head.
Okay.
That photo just
disappeared.
We don't know where it is.
Okay.
So they only entered into evidence the photo of them putting the head back together.
That's the only photo we have of his head?
We have other pictures.
Okay.
But this is the key one that shows where the wound should be.
Yes.
And almost all the witnesses that day who saw his head wound, they were shown this and they said, no, that's not what we saw. No, this has got to be fake. But like I said, the more natural explanation is they're putting the head back together.
That makes sense.
Now, the head wound should be in the Zapruder film, right?
Right.
Well, we don't see it.
We don't
see it. Well, and so that's when people say, well, the Zapruder film is faked. However,
I never heard that.
However,
some people say that.
However, the back of the head, if you look closely, the back of the head is in shadow. There's some guy who did a 3D animation online. Type in Zapruder frame 317 animation on Google Images, and you'll see someone lined up all the shadows and everything. And amazingly, coincidentally, sadly, at the moment of the headshot, the back of the head is in shadow. But there are a couple of frames in the Zapruder film, you have to look very closely, where you can see the wound in the back of the head. So this is his shoulder right here. He's slumped over like this.
It's very low resolution, I guess, so it's hard to convince the skeptical.
Yes.
So that would be a proof that there is a wound.
Yes. So this is in the Zapruder film. He's leaned over like this. That's his shoulder. This is taken from behind. And his ear's right there. And you can see the wound that everyone saw that day.
Yes.
That's the wound in the back of the head.
That's the wound in the back
Unfortunately,
of the head.
like I said, for the photographs, it was covered up. And here in the Zapruder film, it's in shadow. But we have in Miss Mormon's photograph, right here, taken at the moment of the headshot, there's the wound in the back of the head that everyone saw. So you have to really hunt for it. You have to really look carefully, but it's right there.
It's right there.
It's right there.
When are we going to reopen the case? They've been asking. I see Oliver Stone and Jim going to I don't know, in Washington to ask for it. Do we know if it's going to happen?
The task force that was put up by Representative Luna, right? Her and her task force are supposedly going through and reanalyzing JFK, Robert Kennedy's assassination, 9/11, all this stuff. So we just have to wait and see what happens and see if they'll follow through on this.
There's a lot to expose.
Yes.
And it means rewriting the history, and it also means for a lot of people to understand how deceived they've been.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Do you think people are ready?
I think right now, yes. I think especially with
Charlie.
So I think with social media and the internet, people have been exposed to what actually goes on in the world. That's why they want to ban TikTok.
Yeah.
Because they're showing wars and everything, and people being bombed, and that's why the government wants it to shut down. They don't want people to see it. First time people are seeing what's going on, and they can research for themselves.
Yes.
Anything.
And you can find a lot of stuff online. You can find a lot of crap, but you can also have access to a lot of truth.
Yeah.
You got to apply critical thinking when you do your own research.
Yes.
Do we wrap it up here? Were we still going for? Do you still have something in your presentation?
Usually. So where was Lee Harvey Oswald? So the key thing is that the motorcade was 5 minutes late.
Oh.
The motorcade passed by the building right here at 12:30. It was supposed to pass between 12:15 and 12:25.
Okay.
It was running late.
Okay.
Now, we know where Lee Harvey Oswald was at that time. He was on the first floor eating his lunch between 12:50 and 12:25.
Because there are witnesses.
Yes.
The two ladies,
yes,
right?
Yes. People who saw him eating his lunch. And
was he working there?
Yes, he was working there. He had been working there for about 6 weeks.
Okay.
Making $1.25 an hour. So.
Wow, getting rich.
Yeah. And so we know where he was at the moment that the motorcade was originally supposed to pass the building. He's not up in the position to be shooting. And then 74 seconds after the shooting, he was stopped by his supervisor and a cop who ran in the building. And he held Oswald at gunpoint, and he asked the supervisor, "Do you know this man? Is he an employee?" That's an Oliver Stone's movie.
Yeah.
He said, "Oh, he's fine. He works here." So he lets him go.
Yeah.
But that was timed 74 seconds afterwards. We know where he was at 12:25. We know where he was 70 seconds afterwards.
Yeah.
So there's no way he could run down the stairs.
6 floors.
4 floors.
4
floors, barreling down there.
And he was not out of breath.
Not out of breath. And there were people in between those floors, and the stairway was wooden, and the stairs were squeaky and creaked.
And nobody heard
No one heard him running down. No one heard him running down.
So once again, the official story doesn't make much sense.
So it would seem that whoever was shooting from up there waited a little bit, and then fled. Because there's no,
I wish we knew those
I know,
people.
I know,
How frustrating is it?
And people have said, well, how could an assassin get in there? Well, if you look at the testimony of one of the workers there, Junior Jarman, they asked him, how easy was it to access the building? He said, there's no security that day.
There was no security on the day the president was there.
There was no guards. There's no nothing. The warehouse garage was open. The back door was open. There's no one in there. Anyone could go in there. Anyone.
And no one thought it was weird? It was like a common thing to have the garage doors open? I mean, it's the day the president is here.
He said anyone could have walked in. Anyone could have walked in.
So there is no...
Evidence?
We're not pointing fingers to anyone. We don't know who could have been there if it's not Lee Harvey Oswald.
Obviously it was, and there was if you look at the photographs of the window that was taken shortly afterwards, you see that there's been a rearranging of those boxes that are in the window that the shooter rested his gun upon. So the official story is that Oswald shot and then ran down the stairs. But 2 minutes later, someone's still up in the window rearranging the boxes when Oswald's down. So that proves that there has to be another assassin up there. So I think the assassin up there probably just waited a little bit and then quietly went out the back.
But no one saw him?
The building wasn't sealed off for like half an hour. So anyone could have gotten out.
But no one saw, there's no testimonies of witnesses who saw someone leaving 2 or 3 or 4 minutes afterwards?
No, not really, no. Okay. Oh, what? There was a man seen running out the back.
Okay.
There was a man, seen running out the back. There was about 3 or 4 witnesses who saw that.
And that would not have been Lee Harvey Oswald.
Okay,
donc ce qu'il dit, c'est que il y a des témoins qui ont vu quelqu'un partir beaucoup plus longtemps après, peut-être 3-4 minutes après les balles, les bruits de fusil. Mais cette journée-là, tout était ouvert, les portes étaient ouvertes dans le building qu'on voyait tantôt où on dit que Lee Harvey Oswald a tiré. Les portes de garage étaient ouvertes, n'importe qui pouvait rentrer, sortir comme dans un moulin. Aucune sécurité. Quand même spécial le jour que le président des États-Unis est là, que les services secrets n'avaient pas sécurisé la place où le cortège doit absolument ralentir, presque arrêter. C'est comme complètement ridicule quand tu y penses. OK.
So what's the evidence against Oswald? Well, they recovered a rifle.
Yeah.
They looked at it for fingerprints. They found 2 fingerprints. Ooh, something right? We got something.
Yeah.
They're too smudged. Can't be identified to anybody. They're too smudged. Oh.
Oh.
So, and then the rifle was sent that night to the FBI, and they couldn't find any prints. And several days later, the Dallas police say, "Oh, you know what? We had previously found Oswald's palm print."
Oh, suddenly the palm print
on the rifle. Suddenly, a palm print shows up. We were just keeping it here. We didn't tell anybody. We were just
waiting for the right moment.
No, that's not what happened. Because when the rifle was shipped to the FBI that night, they found fingerprint powder all over it. They said, "We don't see any prints on here, and no print has been lifted except for the two that were smudged. There's nothing here." There would have been like a gap left behind. So imagine you have like a dusty table, and you take your finger and you wipe it, and you leave a gap behind.
Yeah.
That's what they would have seen. That's what the FBI would have seen had a palm print been lifted. There would have been a gap left behind.
Right.
And they said nothing. There was no attempt at even being lifted, and so
it seems like a cover-up.
So what we have is a palm print that's very sketchy.
Yes.
We have Mr. Brennan, who's very sketcy. We have, so there's not much evidence against Oswald.
And that picture. You know the picture of Oswald with
holding the rifle?
Holding the rifle?
I think his wife did say that she took that picture. But it could be that Oswald has
Why would you take a picture with a rifle?
It's very possible that Oswald ordered that rifle and delivered that rifle a couple days earlier to the building to conspirators. That doesn't mean that he killed the president. But he's involved some way in this, he's entangled in some operation that was turned around. He was double-crossed, and that would explain why he would leave the building and possibly shoot a cop who he may or may not have been thought was sent.
Shoot a cop, right?
Allegedly again. That's my other bread and butter. We'll get there, but. So that would explain all of his actions. People say, why did he act suspicious? They say he was the only person in the whole building who left work. Have you heard that before? So the mainstream media says, out of all the people in the building, he's the only one who left work afterwards. No. If you look at all the interviews, there were actually 17 people who were not accounted for in the building.
Okay. So that was not that uncommon.
So all these talking points that you hear from the MSM, the mainstream media, they're easily debunkable.
Right.
Like, there was a palm print, but they don't give the context of it. Oh, we have Howard Brennan, but they don't give the context of it.
Yeah.
Oh, we have he was missing from the building, but they don't give context of it. Context is everything in this case.
And especially now that a lot of files were declassified and that we know. I mean, we can't maybe point finger to who did it, but we can definitely see that there was a conspiracy, that there was a cover-up. We can prove that there was a cover-up.
I think it's because they got one guy who was maybe involved in it somehow, Oswald, and then 2 days later he was shot on national television by Jack Ruby when they were doing the perp walk, walking him out in handcuffs, and Jack Ruby shoots him dead on live TV in front of the whole world.
Jack Ruby, who got killed afterwards, right? Oh, no, he had cancer.
He died a few years later, yes.
Yeah.
And so what's the government going to say? Well, ladies and gentlemen, we caught one guy who may have been involved in it somehow, but now he's dead. The other assassins have gotten away. They're roaming the streets today. We're so sorry, but we'll do better next time.
Yes. And they might be in your government, by the way.
So they're not going to say that.
No.
They're going to... What's the simpler explanation for them to say?
Yeah, they went with the easiest one, but it doesn't work anymore. No one believes it.
It was just some guy. And the thing is that they said Oswald for years. They said he was a nobody, not connected to anybody. Nobody. He's just a lone nut.
Now
nobody.
We know he works for CIA.
He's connected to all these people.
Exactly.
So
yeah, the more we know, the more it points in CIA's direction.
Go back to what they claimed 60 years ago, and look at what we know now. Very different. We know so much more now.
Right. And thanks to Oliver Stone for that.
Yes, thanks to Oliver Stone.
Yes.
Before Oliver Stone's movie, you couldn't talk about it.
Mm-hmm. It was taboo.
It was taboo to talk about it. His movie put it on the table.
Yeah.
And it may not be 100% accurate, but it's 90, 95. It's better than.
Well, at least it brought back the conversation on the table.
It brought back the conversation, and it's better than anything that we've seen before.
Yes, absolutely.
So, and this country would have been very different very, very different had Kennedy not been assassinated.
That's a good way to end it. Do you want to say why you think the country would have been different?
I think you already did.
Yeah, but I think it's interesting with Charlie Kirk's assassination that just happened, and right now to be here, I see the flag there.
At half-mast.
Exactly, because we have
Half-staff,
once again an assassination that was committed in plain sight, with a lot of people watching, lots of cameras, and someone who was just having ideas that were annoying a lot of people. And so I would like to hear your thoughts about Charlie Kirk's assassination.
It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
It's a tragedy. No one deserves to be gunned down like that. No one, his wife and his kids, no one deserves to have him being taken away from them. He did say a lot of things that were polarizing, but at the same time, he did open it up to conversation, debate, to talking with people on the other side.
Absolutely.
No matter who you are, what age you are, what color you are, what political affiliation you're with, and I hope we can continue to keep on doing that.
Absolutely.
Just to talk, just to think.
Yeah.
Just to think outside,
Well,
so,
thanks for your time, Matt. That was super, super interesting.
hey, thank you.
Thank you. Merci à tout le monde d'avoir assisté à notre direct. Pour terminer, on a parlé de Charlie Kirk, un peu qui a été assassiné, qui disait il amenait des idées différentes, mais l'idée c'était d'avoir un débat, c'était de pas tous être d'accord. C'est spécial pour moi d'être aux États-Unis. Le drapeau est en berne. J'ai pris l'avion la journée en fait, je suis rentrée dans l'avion. Et puis, on m'a annoncé qu'il venait de mourir, qu'il venait d'être assassiné. J'étais pas une fan finie, mais je trouve ça extrêmement troublant qu'on vive dans une société où on peut se faire assassiner comme ça pendant qu'on fait une conférence publique dans un campus universitaire. C'est la même chose qui s'est passée il y a 62 ans quand le président des États-Unis ici a été assassiné. Quelqu'un qui avait des idées qui dérangeaient, puis on a trouvé justifié de le descendre. À ce moment-là, bon, maintenant on sait que c'était institutionnalisé. On sait qu'il y avait probablement le gouvernement d'impliquer, certainement la CIA, des agences. Plus ça va, plus les documents sortent, plus on sait. On a fait un hommage à Oliver Stone. Grâce à lui, la discussion est revenue sur la table avant son film JFK. C'était même pas permis d'en parler. Maintenant, plus d'un Américain sur deux ne croit pas à la version officielle. Donc, ça fait du chemin, puis encore du chemin à faire. Espérons qu'ils vont réouvrir le cas. Ça a été demandé par Oliver Stone et James DiEugenio plus tôt cette année au Congrès de réouvrir une enquête pour qu'on puisse enfin avoir une tête, s'officialiser une histoire plus près de la vérité. Je vous remercie d'avoir écouté.